Good morning, Rhino. Is it morning still over there?
No, Adam, it's 3:45 in the afternoon.
Well, it's not. It's very early here in the morning.
What's the time there?
5:45.
Why are you up at 5:45?
Because there's lots of stuff to be done. I'm off to New Zealand tomorrow, Thursday. So
Thursday.
gotta speak to the Rhino. Gotta give people updates. Gotta.
Yeah, I just did a live
Oh, you did a lot.
thing earlier today.
Yeah.
I went for a test ride.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Oh, there we go. Whoa, big Rhino. That test ride obviously didn't go so well.
I can't really, the saddle has now been wrapped in a sleeping mat. Can't really sit down on it unless I just sit right on the tip and get the chocolate starfish to rest right on the rivet.
Rivet of what?
You know, when you're on the rivet, it's an old cycling term for when they used to make saddles with the rivet on the end of the saddle tip. Much how the Brook saddles are still made with the rivet on the end. That's where the terminology on the rivet comes from.
There you go.
Because the rider would sit on the nose, just smashing it out. I'm going to have to sit on the nose as well. Oh. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to sit on the nose.
For 600 Ks.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be sitting down too much. I think it'll be more of a standing thing.
Well, you're going to have some nice quads after that.
Yeah, I'll have a tight Brazilian buttocks by the end of this one.
Jesus. So there's no way you can. You've tried angling seats and all that.
Problem with angling the seat down is it just puts all the pressure on your hands.
Oh yeah.
So there's not much point in doing that, and it just puts more strain on your legs because your legs are trying to support you anyway, and it puts too much strain on your.
I'm just sorry. I just did a picture of down there and the way you have to sit down, and you're sharing those photos. I can't believe you're sharing those photos on Instagram.
Well,
oh my god.
Look, it's unfortunately the situation, and people want to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
That's, some are like, yeah, just keep going, man, you got this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't think you really understand the gravity of the situation here. Mm-hmm. There is a 5 centimeter hole in a place where I need to rest my butt between the saddle and myself. It's not just a question of muscling through it. It won't be an easy proposition to ride for what I reckon will still be a long time in the saddle, but just going much shorter distance.
Mm-hmm. Because you still have to look after yourself, don't you?
Yeah, and each day I've got to get into a position where I can take all the gauze out, pack it again, try and recover as much as possible, and then ride the next day. I've just got to get 3 days, maybe 3 or 4 days, and then hopefully I'll be in Yorktown by tomorrow's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I thought tomorrow was Wednesday, but maybe get there Thursday, Friday instead of Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, okay. So
because I got to start work, you're leaving for bloody New Zealand. I've got to start getting back on the
we've got
back on the tools.
Kate's agreed to keep helping out, so it's all good. So just last time we saw you on this channel, obviously people have been watching you via other channels, your millions of followers.
YouTube. channel.
But the last time you were in a servo, you were complaining and you were looking rather evil.
Yeah, but I was really excited. Obviously I hadn't slept for a long time.
No, it was a good evil.
I wanted to do this last big push, and we were joking about no sleep till Yorktown, but I was prepared to do about 500 k's, 550,
and then have a rest. Yep.
Some big pushes. I'd been up for 30 something hours at that stage, and I was like, I'm feeling really good. Obviously, I've slept through 2 alarms the night before that, and had left at midday. It was something like, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning the following day, and I was still really charging. And then the thunderstorms and everything happened, and this, I guess, the road grime and the chamois, just being in the chamois for that long, just exacerbated what was going on down there to the point where I needed to. What I thought was a good idea was to burst the saddle sore, which turned out to be a cyst. I did it in like a park whilst I was waiting for my clothes to dry. I was just there in my rain pants trying to burst the cyst. I just climbed up that first climb before Vesuvius. That just after Damascus is a climb, and I was trying to escape a thunderstorm, and I got caught in it anyway. It was a bit of a tactical error. I should have just stayed at Crazy Larry's hostel and waited it out. But I was just like,
trying to go. Yeah.
Time's of the essence. It's a race. Blah blah blah. You're trying to get back into the top 10. All these stupid things that people do when they think that they're racing for pink slips, kind of thing. So it just got progressively worse to the point where I couldn't actually pedal anyway. I was just trying to make it to Wytheville because there's hotels and a hospital, and I realised things were getting really bad. The last 60 odd Ks got really bad. Then the last 35 Ks, took me like 4.5, 5 hours.
More.
And then I was out of the saddle a lot. I was pretty fatigued at that stage because I'd been riding for so long. I just kind of checked myself into the hotel, and then I looked at everything and realised it was really bad and needed to go to the hospital. So I needed to sleep, so I slept first, got some food, and then checked myself into the emergency room. And then, it was two ultrasounds. All the doctors and nurses were on skeleton staff, so they called in an ultrasound person that specialises in ultrasound. Well, it's like a radiologist, I guess. I don't know. Then called in a urologist. Another doctor that was on call was brought in. A doctor's assistant was there. 2 nurses. I was thinking, man, this is going to cost me a small fortune as well at the same time. There goes the Triple Crown Fund. It's all going to be. It's going to be used on this one little trip to the emergency room. Then I was just thinking, I'll just get some antibiotics. Sweet, it'll clear up in a day or 2. We'll just keep going, and it'll clear up. Urologist was like, mate, you're not going anywhere. We're going to have to put you under a general anesthetic and cut this thing out. And there's something below the muscle as well, and you don't want this going anywhere near the bone. And I was just like, how has it got this bad? And then I was like, mate, I can't afford the anesthesia costs. Like, I've got insurance, but she's like, well, we can do it in the ER, and I just put you under a general, but it's going to hurt. I mean, a local. And we'll inject directly into the area. And, we need to cut it out. So he performed this incision, he started injecting me. And the funny thing was that stupid photo that I posted about the doctor looking at the thing with the two nurses either side. That's exactly what happened. There's two nurses, each holding a ball, and then the doctor holding the old cucumber, whilst he uses like what I thought was an ice pick to jab me in the area, and the other ladies got me on a drip feeding me morphine. Yeah, and I could still feel a lot of stuff when he started putting in the needles, and I unfortunately kicked the doctor once because I still had my shoes on, and I was in a gynecologist, like a gynae chair, gynecologist, and there weren't any stirrups though, and it was the most awkward feeling. It's like slide your bum back until you're kind of almost sitting on my face kind of thing. And then my knees were up here, and he was like right up into the jewels.
He was in the business end.
So yeah, it was a very sort of intimate experience. They brought my bike in, which was really nice because it was just sitting outside waiting for me. And I was like, look, do you mind if you just bring it into the ER? They brought it in. The spirit was there, holding my hand whilst this was going on. And then they were like, all right, mate, so we've cut it out. We've now had to pack it because we want it to seal. We don't want it to seal from the outside in. We want it to heal from the inside out. So it's going to close like that. So we've left it open, and then you could feel them start jamming all this gauze into the area and packing it. And I was like, man, this is a new one for me. And this, it's about this big. It's on the side of my berry bag, right where the saddle sits. It's a 5 centimeter incision that he made. I mean, it's huge. I can't believe he had to make such a large incision, to be honest, but he did. He's a urologist, so I kind of trust that the guy knows what he's doing, but I kind of thought, why is this thing so big?
Well, you're going to have to, because you have to still access it. Oof.
And then he started, before that, he was like trying to get all of the stuff out. And then he was injecting this fluid to flush it. Then he packed it, and then he put like this little drainage thing into like a big ball of wad, like bandage cladding below that, and all this fluid was just draining into that bandage. And then they attached that to the side of my leg, and that's that photo that I posted, just so everyone could get a good idea of what was happening. But yeah, I tried to. They wouldn't let me ride home, and I was like, well, there's no Ubers. I can't get a taxi. What am I supposed to do? I've booked a hotel that's next to the hospital. It's not far. I need to go and get the prescription now filled from Walmart. You guys aren't going to be able to do this for me, so just let me. I'm checking myself out, and I've got to go. Like he was saying, oh, you can't ride for 6 weeks. And I was like, yeah, I appreciate that, but I have no other option. I'm here on my own. I don't have anyone. This is the unfortunate circumstance that we're in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is there anyone that can come and get you? I was like, mate, I don't think you understand this. I'm unsupported. There is no one here. And then the nurses were like, we can drop him off. I've got to pick up. And I was like, that's great, but I still need to go and get the medication. You guys are working. I really appreciate it. I'm still on all these drugs anyway, so I can't feel a thing. So I'm just going to go get. So I got some clothes. I was wandering around in my cycling kit, had to put all that back on. Rode to Walmart, just across the street. It wasn't hard. Got my medication, got some spare bandages and stuff, got some clothes so that I can just be a bit more comfortable in some flip-flops. And, and then the drugs, like, they got me on oxycodone or whatever, and some really strong antibiotics. And, yeah, the drugs knocked me out for, a good day and a half. And here we are, like 2 days later, I'm now There's a giant cat. It's just there's a tiger that's come into shot. Hey, kitty. And yeah, so I went for a ride today to test it out. I think it's manageable. Just got to be careful. Got to dress it each day. Just book a hotel every sort of early evening. Doesn't hurt whilst I'm cycling. It doesn't seem to be causing any further damage and tearing further. Just got to keep looking after it.
Yeah.
I've got some really cool Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle boxes, which kind of like help support everything in there and just kind of keep it away from the bibs. I've tried to wash the bibs to keep them as clean as possible. I've got a spare pair of shorts. I've got a backpack with all these bandages and stuff that I need to look after myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just who knows, mate. I'm just trying to get the second crown. Seems to be the hardest crown of all.
Yeah. Well, you put yourself in. Yeah. You managed to get very close and get in a situation where it's not easy to finish.
No, but if if they were easy to finish, they wouldn't be worth attempting.
So where have you contemplated not finishing?
Oh, from day one.
Yeah, but even especially now, I guess, considering your, I don't know, the risk assessment. The rhino risk assessment has obviously said that you're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, I know this. That bell curve of risk versus reward, and is it really worth it? And you don't want to do any further damage. I think about it. Of course, I do, because things can go wrong, But I'm prepared to take on the challenge and try and mitigate as much of that risk as possible to see if I can do this. I might not ever get a chance to go for the Triple Crown again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disappointing that it's been made so difficult. Not just this, but lots of other issues.
Yeah.
So
been a tough race.
Yeah, it's been a hard one. These kind of things are hard enough to say. But they're hard enough on their own without these further complications. So, still searching for that perfect race.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen on the next one.
I think for that to happen, you have to just look after yourself. So.
Yeah, I know. People are just thinking, "Oh, this is crazy. What are you doing? You're going to really hurt yourself." And it's like, well, I appreciate outside looking in, you've all got advice for me. People looking at the Trans-America go, that's crazy. How can people do that? But people do. You'll be surprised what you can do if you put your mind to something.
Yeah.
Sure, it sounds like, oh, this is ridiculous, and I do consider what potentially could happen for sure. But if we're all worried about what could go wrong in the world and to ourselves and in our daily lives, we wouldn't get anything done.
Yeah. Yes. Well, just as I've been saying, just look after yourself. Hopefully it's manageable. I reckon, I trust you. So just, look after yourself. And if you can't, so be it. It's not
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
So it's just it's just the end of the journey for now. End of the Trans Am.
Yeah. I just can't imagine doing what I've just done all over again, even if it was easier the next time.
You just don't want to do it.
I just can't fathom doing another 3 big ones all in 1 year.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's a pretty big undertaking. So it feels like it's almost easier to put yourself through this hell.
It does feel like it's easier just to do this.
Yeah.
And get ready for the TCO.
Yeah. Well, it's it's given us a good update. Thank you. And thanks for those lovely pictures you've been sending through there. I didn't know that could exist, and you're living through it.
Neither did I, mate. Trust me, I was pretty scared that there was a coin slot down there as well, like a piggy bank. People trying to put money in there when they're donating now.
And what's this you got going?
I'm just trying to look like you, mate. Look at that.
It's lovely.
Isn't she beautiful?
She's beautiful. It's the Errol, we'll call it.
Yeah, Errol.
The new spirit animal.
Do you know how long it's taken to grow that?
Yeah, the Trans Am.
End of June.
Yeah, this was yesterday. I started this yesterday.
Yeah, the Italian beast.
Well, my friend, cheers for the update. Just look after yourself. That's number one concern for us and everyone watching. I'm sure you will. Just look after yourself. Yeah. All right.